Hi, Mr. C here. So we're going to complete our first pour of our second layers of another color or another section of the epoxy top. Like I had said in the previous video, I really wanted to mix this up. And this is when I'm saying I wanted to mix this up, I mean the epoxy resin and hardener. So I have a pretty good sized batch here that mixed real well for the last 7 minutes. So now I'm ready to pour this inside of here, and then the magic's going to start happening. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour most of this material, most of the epoxy inside of here. Okay, I do want to pour some in this spot here, which is the part that had the part of the crotch of the tree or the arm. And we'll put some in there. And then this spot as well. Let that run. Now this will self-level. Okay. So now that I have all of this epoxy poured into here, just a little bit more, and yes, it created a significant amount of bubbles when I did that, but it's not a big deal. We can take care of that. I have my stick. It was my stirring stick. Just the epoxy is from here down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this right here right now, and then here's where I'm going to take some of the copper dye. I'm not going to take very much. And I'm going to sprinkle some in. Different areas. And then all you need to do to get some like streaking or something like that. In fact, let me go ahead and bring it over here so you can see. So you can see here where I just dropped in some of that dye. So now what I'm going to do is just wave this back and forth so it kind of mixes in a little bit. We want it to look like kind of like a current. There's something flowing through. And this is where it becomes kind of your individual creativity that kind of flows through the project. No, we don't want the clumps, as you can see, like here. And then as we do layer after layer, it'll give you more depth. So make that look like it's going that way. This is running through this way. Now I don't want to mix this too much, because if I do, it's just going to disperse and just change the color everywhere. Okay. And then here you can see how it's like, looks like it's multiple layers. So I think this is really where I want to be on this. Now I'm going to go ahead and set my stick down in there. So now we're going to have to wait 6 hours to get this to work. Now I just turned on the heat gun. You probably heard it, but you can see the bubbles here. See how it just eliminates the bubbles once the heat gets to there. That was pretty cool how that blew up. So this removes most of the bubbles, or almost all of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back 20 minutes from now. I'm going to set this on the ground, on the floor. Now, if you see these rings, this is not a big deal. This is just from the bucket from previously. This is going to get all sanded off. It'll be gone. So now you can kind of see how unique this looks. So here's our river runs through it, right? And here, and there. I do want to get a little bit, if you look in here, I didn't put any of that copper mix in there, but what I'd like to do is just take a little bit and I'm going to drop some in. There. So now you can kind of see a little bit. There's a little bit of copper in there. And that'll look pretty unique a little bit. So that's kind of a surprise. I'm really pleased the way this looks right now. When we put the next coat in, we can do another layer so that that copper look gives a depth to it. And then we're going to sand everything that's protruding up down. It's the level of the epoxy is to be even with the smallest or the thinnest piece, which is this one. And I think that one was around 1 7/8 inches. We'll probably have to take off a little bit of it, so it might be slightly under 1 7/8 inches. If we end up at 1 3/4 inches, I think that'll be perfectly fine. 1 3/4 tabletop is pretty good, okay? So until next time, I'm Mr. C, and we're working on the creative, with the epoxy wood creative table, and I think this is going to be pretty cool when it's all done. Remember to give us a thumbs up, and in the comment section, put down something that you learned, and I can put you in as an entry, okay? So until next time, we'll see you.